Everyone is gearing out to 700 plus easy this week after learning this. Okay, so we're going to get taught something here about how to gear out to 700 plus. Don't waste your time. We don't want to waste time. So let's see what the comeback kids have to say about how we can quickly gear out to 700 plus. Here we go.
Okay, Season 3 is officially launching now, and I'm going to help you step by step to gearing up your character in the most efficient way possible to save you as much time as I can. There's also a massive mistake most players are going to be making when it comes to gearing this season, so stick around until later in the video because this is something you don't want to miss.
Watch him say, don't craft anything this week, and for the first time in my life, I freaking crafted this week. Watch him say, don't do, okay.
Today's video, I'm going to be showing you why everyone is gearing up to 700 plus item level this week easily after all of this. Starting off first, ranging with the easiest ways to get large item level spikes. Of course, number one, we have the 701 item level Titan Disc Belt. To start this short quest chain, go to the Titan console.
This is like for people who didn't play the last patch
in Dornegal. You pick up the quest to complete a delve, and you'll be rewarded with your powerful belt. Constantly, you'll have to come back here to reacquire quest, where it will have you complete more delves to increase its item level all the way up to 701. Not only that, if you right-click your belt, you can change its passive effect to cater to whatever's best for your spec, like increasing haste, crit, mastery.
Yeah, most of us already have this. This is like a catch-up thing for people who didn't do the belt last season or didn't play last season at all.
Or whatever. Before we jump into the next segment, though, quick shout out to something that's actually changed the way I play, which is exit lag. Now, most players obsess over parses, logs, and even best in slot gear like you guys, but none of that even matters if your connection sucks. I didn't realize how bad my routing was until I tested exit lag. Turns out, my game traffic was going through some more complications than Retail WoW's gearing system. But listen, exit lag fixed it. They've got AI-powered route optimization, multi-path tech, and even a built-in diagnostic center to automatically give you the fastest, smoothest connection possible. No sketchy VPN stuff, just real infrastructure
get boosted
with over 1,200 servers across 190 countries built for gaming. And get this, it works for over 2,000 games, and you'll feel the difference instantly. You can set it and forget it, which is nice, or you can even get really hands-on with a bunch of custom controls if you're that type of player as well.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure boosted.
It's also Gamer Month. They're offering an exclusive 72% off for a limited time. So if you've been lagging or rubber banding in Season 3 of The War Within, try Exit Lag today. Hit the link in the description below, support the channel, and feel the difference.
Nice, nice. Also, close out all those hub tab, boys. Close them out. Come on, you don't need all that shit open while you're playing. All right, back to the news.
Next up, a very easy way to get high item level loot this week is through the Wrath of the Lich King time walking event. If you're looking to get gear fast through this event, do not just run 5 dungeons, as it's a complete waste of time. Instead, what you want to do is grab the Frozen Path Through Time quest in Dornegal, and then head on over to Northern Dalaran. Go to the time walking area and accept the quest Disturbance Detected in Ulduar. Now from there, you will have 2 quests, one of them giving you a guaranteed champion piece of loot for killing 5 bosses in the raid, and another quest giving you a guaranteed hero track piece of loot for killing Yogg-Saron.
Okay, yeah, it's a double dip. Yeah, he's not wrong. It's a good strat, because the other quest applies to both dungeons and raid bosses, and then there's one that's just for the raid. So if you pick up both, go do the raid, you're killing out both quests at the same time.
To find a group for this and get started, all you have to do is go to the Looking for Group tab, go to the pre-made group section, go to the
we might do time walking
area, and there should be groups forming that you could just jump into. From there, you sign up and head into the raid. Not only that, the bosses inside of the raid should drop some champion track loot if it's anything like Season 1 or Season 2, so we'll have to see. This is a very easy way to get flooded with champion and a hero track piece of loot very early on in the season, so I highly recommend doing this as soon as possible. Additionally, don't forget a very easy way to get a champion piece of gear is by killing Reshinor the Untethered, the world boss in Crests.
Wait a minute, is that right?
Drop a warbound piece of loot.
Is that right? We got here, killing Yogg has a chance to drop Invincible, Mimiron's Head, or the Infinite Time Weaver. I think that is right, because I got Mimiron's Head and the Infinite Time Weaver off of these time walking bosses. Invincible, I didn't know was included in that group. Oh shit. Anyone has a chance. Okay, still chasing them. Okay, good.
Piece of loot that you can transfer across your account once per week. And it's also important to note that this boss did just get nerfed, so it should be much easier to kill him. Additionally,
okay, wait. Side note, do not land on the boss and then proceed to fly up and reset him. I did that, a little bit ago. Maybe some of you remember that. It reset the boss, and the boss don't reset for like 20 minutes. So so I flew in, landed on the boss. I was like, oh shit, the group's not fully formed yet. And I flew away, resetting the boss. The 40-man raid then started cussing out the raid leader for forming up a raid for a boss that had not spawned yet. And it was because then they'd sat there for 20, and the entire raid fell apart. So essentially I broke apart a 40-man raid by doing that. Yeah, so don't do that.
Make sure to hop in the Looking for Raid tab for the brand new Mana Forge Omega raid launching this week. This will now give us access to the very first wing, which will give you the opportunity to earn veteran track gear, which can shoot up to 691 item level. The biggest reason we're going in here though is for our opportunity at earning a tier set piece, as this will be a very large power spike if you're able to acquire your 2-set bonus from the Catalyst Transformer. Also, quick tip, if you're planning on using your Catalyst, try your best to make sure it's on a hero track piece of gear so you can at least use it throughout the entirety of the season when it's fully upgraded. Do not waste your Catalyst on a champion track loot, as this is something you can replace in just a couple of weeks.
Good advice.
On top of that, if you're still really desperate for some item level, you can actually turn on war mode for PvP and complete war.
Hold on, did he intentionally spell token with the word toe in it? Like, we're going full Xalatath? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, we are. We got toes and token, boys.
Level, you can actually turn on war mode for PvP and complete world
I don't know if that's
quests
about
that
purpose
give you
or what, but it's pretty
bloody
good.
Tokens each. You also have the weekly world quest that will give you 500 and the weekly PvP Sparks quest that gives you 1,000. From there, you can easily stack up to nearly 2.
Are people? How many people in chat are PvPing still? Is anyone still PvP? I mean, I feel bad because it really used to be a fun part of the game, but I just haven't done it in forever. And I think a lot of people haven't done it in forever. Okay, we got one. We got a couple, maybe. Yeah, it's fun. I know it's fun. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't dabbled in PvP in a long, long time. For the mount, you do it for the transmog. That's a good reason to do it. Well, look, there's a good reason to do it at least this week for some gear, too.
1,000 bloody tokens
Solo shuffle's
in roughly
good, yeah.
half an hour. You can spend these bloody tokens at the PvP vendor, which can reward you with veteran gear that could shoot up to 691 item level.
Not bad.
Not only that, it's good for having PvP gear if you're interested in performing in PvP combat, so be sure to check this out. Additionally, be sure to complete your weekly Dornogal chores, which include your Delves quest, your Call of the World Soul, and all your other weekly chores in Dornogal. Remember, these are crucial to gearing up as these give you veteran gear in the first couple of boxes, but most importantly, they give you your bountiful keys, which are the easiest and most efficient way to get champion
I gotta
gear
do Delves
in the game.
this
At this point, if you've done all of the previous ways to acquire loot that we stated in this video, you should be floating around 680 to 685 item level. Not only that, if you did all your weekly assignments last week, you should be around 5 to 6 bountiful keys locked and loaded, ready to go in your currency tab. From here, it's critical that we're going to dive into Delves and complete...
look, guys, Delves this week are overpowered as shit. You can get so many crests, you can get so much gear, especially if you got those coffer keys, and you got a shot at getting the map. If you've got, well, you gotta push through. You won't get any of those bountiful maps, which then boost the shit you're getting out of a delve even more, out of a bountiful delve. You won't get one until you've gotten to rank 2 on your Delver's, whatever the hell, Delver's Journey bar. So you gotta wait for that. But once you get to level 2 on it, you will get a Delver's map eventually. You get one per week, and if you get that, my God, then you're even getting more gear out of this shit.
Tier 8 Bountiful
Only if you're a cracked Delver? Yeah, basically.
Tier 8 Bountiful Delves will give you some Runed Crest and a guaranteed champion track piece of gear at the end of every single Tier 8 Bountiful Delve.
Yeah, that's
of
crazy
course,
for this
these
week.
require a Bountiful Key to open these chests, so you can only do them a few times every week. It's also very important to note that every week you will also get the opportunity to run 3 Tier 11 Delves that will reward you with 7 Gilded Crest at the end of each run. This will give you the opportunity to earn up to 21 Gilded Crest, which is critical because this is directly how you can earn some of the best loot in the game through your Spark crafted gear. Additionally, when it comes to Delves this season, you want to do your best to hit the second track on the Delver's Journey.
It's not true, Inari, and I did not brick a fucking delve, okay? Besides the 2 and the Mythic 0. Unbelievable.
as this will then give you access to the Delver's Bounty reward, which gives you a free piece of Hero Track loot every week, which can shoot up to 710 item level.
Hero Track loot, 710 item level once per week if you get the freaking map. That's huge, man. That is huge.
Not only that, if you use this on a tier 11 delve, you can get an additional 10 gilded crests. Simply all you have to do is activate the Delver's Bounty in your inventory, complete the tier 11 delve.
I gotta say, delves have been the biggest win of the War Within. They have been. Whether you do them or not, I feel like the amount of gear and the way Blizzard has kind of optimized them to become part of the Crests game and everything else, they're so good. They're so good, and they're such a fun way to quickly get shit done. Like, you got 10 minutes in your day, or like, Greg from accounting running away from his abusive wife in the middle of the night. It's become such a good way to just quickly get into the game and feel like, hey, I can actually do something in these next 15 minutes that'll contribute to my gearing process. Whereas before, like, really, you had to run a Mythic Plus. It's going to take you half an hour to 45 minutes to get that done. Or raiding, obviously, that's hours of content that you're going to have to sit and do. Greg can't be on his chair for that long, because his wife's going to come down and check. She got to make sure that he's not enjoying himself in any way, shape, or form. So he's got to alt-tab out of that shit as quick as possible when she comes down. Delves, on the other hand, he can just quickly run that shit. He can get his crests. He can get geared. He can keep up with all the other people in the game while still, contributing to his career and his marriage and everything else. It's great. It's a good thing. I like it.
You'll get your extra piece of loot. Additionally, do not forget, once you unlock the tier 2 on the Delver's Journey, you will be able to purchase the Shrieking Quartz from the Delver's vendor in Dornegal. If you use this at the checkpoint marker in a delve, it will summon Kaiveza to your delve, to where when you kill her, she will guarantee you a Delver's Bounty drop every time.
Wow.
Do note that...
How many guys have you got in the portal, too? There's the cool new portal that just shows up and takes you to the end of the delve if you kill the boss and stuff. It's very cool. A lot of cool stuff happening in delves this season.
This is a once a week thing, so don't just try to buy a ton of these every single week. Moving on, we're at the point in the video where most content moving forward is going to require you to be in a party consistently.
You gotta have
if
friends.
You're still desperate for some champion track loot at this point, you can complete Mythic Zeros and stack a group of the same armor type to increase your chances of getting upgrades. For example, if you make a group with all leather wearers, there should be 1 or 2 pieces of leather gear dropping every dungeon. If those players do not need that said loot, they can simply transfer it amongst the party members within your group. That will increase the rate at which all of you gain items.
Going full leather chaps group. Nice. Assless leather chaps. 40-man assless leather chaps group.
Levels substantially faster, so I recommend trying to do this with some friends or even some guilds.
Moonguard, boys.
More importantly though, this will give you a chance to start learning the mechanics inside of the dungeons for Mythic Plus later on. At this point, to cap off your champion track journey and push you to around 695 item level, we have the brand new Mana Forge Omega Raid.
Oh yeah.
Running this on normal really isn't too difficult and can award you with some good rewards as well. Each boss in here will reward you with 10 to 15 crests, as well as the final 2 bosses rewarding you with 15 runed crests each.
Nice.
On top of that, each piece of loot dropped in here will be champion track as well. Big ticket items in here are going to be trinkets, as well as your tier set bonus opportunities, as these will...
Big thing here that Blizzard just dropped today about how the how your vault's gonna work. If you kill the last 2 bosses, which I believe will give you, like, is it 4 of 8 hero track gear? Like, say you're running it on whatever heroic. You know what I mean about how, like, it's progressed further than the first couple bosses. It turns out that if you get all the way through the raid and you kill those last 2 bosses or whatever, or the last boss, second to last boss, and you get that item level, all the gear that you get from raid that week then will be pumped up to that item level as well. So say you get a piece of loot off of in your vault that's from the first boss, but if it dropped in the raid, it would have been like 2 ranks lower, but because you killed the 8th boss, now it gets pumped up to that same and equal item level as if it would have dropped off the last boss, even though that's not possible. It can't drop off that boss. But that's the item level you get it from your vault. That's a new thing. That shit just dropped. I saw those patch notes like this morning. So that's pretty good. So get as deep into the raid as you can.
Drastically boost up your power levels substantially. If you're looking for a pug group, just go into looking for group tab.
So stay to the end of the raid. Exactly. Section. I think that's what they're trying to, incentivize is you want a piece of gear off that first boss in your vault. Don't just leave. You can get that gear from your vault at a higher item level if you kill the last boss too.
as there should be a ton of groups pumping this out every single week. Moving on now into the final bit of content to get some good rewards, of course, is going to be Mythic Plus. Remember, if you jump right into Mythic Plus and you're just trying to gear through there, you're going to have a tough time. At the end of each dungeon, there's a 40% chance that you even get loot, and then there's even a smaller percent chance that the item is even useful to you, because it's rolled randomly through all the items in the dungeon available. So if you're looking to just strictly gear through Mythic Plus, I highly recommend not doing that and doing all of the previous steps we recommended in this video first. At this point, you should be ready to push into Mythic Plus, and I highly recommend, for at least this week, doing your best to consistently farm out Mythic Plus 6s. At the end of the dungeon, it will reward the group with guaranteed hero track loot, as well as rewarding you with 18 runed crest, which is critical in progressing your character into the mid to end game gearing cycle. If you're skilled enough, of course, you can go farm plus 7s to start earning gilded crest. And I do have to at least mention and teach you guys that if you complete Mythic Plus 10, you will guarantee yourself a Mythic track item in your Great Vault. Remember, you do not need to time the Mythic Plus 10 to earn this reward. You simply just need to complete it to get that guaranteed Myth track item in your vault, which is some of the best loot in the game. And
2 hours later, still running that plus 10. I'm going to do it.
Lastly, for probably the most difficult content available early on, is hands down going to be the Tazavesh Mega Dungeon.
That's right.
We've spoke about this in previous videos, but if you aren't aware, Tazavesh Mythic 0 converts it into a mega dungeon where both of them are combined into one. You're allowed to go in there with a 5-man team, and it totals out to 7 bosses. Each of the bosses in here drop hero track loot, and there is no timer attached to this instance.
This is actually really freaking good. At a plus 0, I mean, is it difficult? Probably, but oh my god. Each one dropping hero track loot, that is insane.
So you can
7 drops of hero track loot
as you want. On top of that, if you're able to complete the dungeon, you will earn 30 gilded crest as well. Blizzard also recently announced that if you complete the entire dungeon with your party having 0 deaths, everybody in the instance will be rewarded with a guaranteed myth track item at the end, which is some of the best loot in the game.
I'll be honest, that might not be possible yet, but I believe that applies to the hard mode version of this raid. Mega dungeon. So I don't think the plus 0, does it? Isn't this for the hard mode, which is like a plus 10 essentially, which means nobody's getting this shit done this week?
So in terms of efficiency, if you're a very, very skilled player and playing with good players in your party, Tazavesh can be an incredible source of gearing very quickly. Do note that this is tuned to a plus 10 mythic difficulty, which gives the mobs 120% more health and causes them to deal 120% more damage, which makes this very difficult. Now, at this point, if you did everything...
By the way, if you go into the dungeon and somebody has died previously in the dungeon that week, you can't get that achievement. I believe that's how it works. So, you will not get the achievement unless everyone who enters the dungeon has the buff to have never died that week in the dungeon. I'm not sure if it applies to the myth track gear or the title that you get from completing this thing, or both, but that is a thing, so just pay attention to that.
Else we spoke about in the video, you should easily be floating around 695 to 700 item level. You should have multiple guaranteed tracks of hero track item from the Time Walking and Delver's Bounty map, a ton of champion loot from your Bountiful Delves, Mythic Zeros, and Mythic Plus, as well as potentially a tier set bonus from LFR or the Raid. Additionally, you could have attempted the first couple bosses in Tazavesh hard mode to at least attempt trying to get an additional piece of hero track gear. You should be ready to craft a piece of spark gear. Now, what most players are going to do is wait till next week to get their second spark where they can craft their 2-handed weapons for 60 gilded crests. But if you're a class that uses a one-handed weapon like a rogue, demon hunter...
I may have made a mistake. I crafted the bracers, and I'm a death knight. Blood DK uses 2-handed weapons. Fuck.
Or even a tank, you can craft yours.
Maybe I get the weapon off the second boss today, though. So that's what I'm counting on. I'm going to get the very rare drop weapon. That's what it is. Yep.
this week. All you have to do is go to the Enchanted Crest conversion vendor next to the crafting order vendor and transfer your 60 gilded crest into the enchanted gilded crest. From there, you go to the crafting order vendor, find your epic one-handed weapon or two-handed weapon next week, insert the materials that cater to your class spec, and set it as a guild order or personal order from a crafter that you found. After you complete that, you should have earned your 720 gilded weapon, which is honestly incredible to hold you over for the entirety of Season 3.
That's pretty big,
This is why it's so critical to do your 3 Tier 11 gilded stashes every week for your delves, so you can get this as soon as possible completely solo. Additionally, if you need more gilded crests, you can farm out Mythic plus 7s for 10 gilded crest a run, and if you're skilled enough somehow, some way, complete the Mega Dungeon of Tazavesh to earn 30 gilded crest at the end as well.
Damn.
Don't forget also to earn a completely free catalyst charge this season, you still have the War Within Season 3 Voidborn Victor meta achievement. By completing one of the challenges, which includes 1600 in rated PvP, 2k rating...
Not a lot of people are going to get this week, but yeah, it is good to note it.
Mythic Plus, or defeating Dimensius on Heroic or Mythic difficulty, you will get a free catalyst charge where you can convert a piece of gear into a tier set, giving you a massive power boost for your character. Okay, now listen up, because this is the mistake that also most players are going to be making in Season 3 when it comes to gearing up, and I need you to pay attention here because this can get a little bit tricky.
I need that weapon, man.
Your #1 priority for gearing up fast this season is understanding the upgrade reduction brackets and the crest trade-up conversion system. This right here is the secret sauce to skyrocketing your item level, letting you trade crests you do not need anymore into ones you actively do need.
The reduction bracket is important to understand, for sure. That's going to make you spend way less crests to get higher item level gear.
Because you've geared up properly. Now, as you progress your character, you need to do your best to hit specific crest thresholds.
Yeah.
That means reaching a minimum item level across all of your gear to outgrow crest you no longer need. For example, once you hit 678 item level on every piece you have...
See, he says every piece, but I believe it's average item level. Am I wrong about that? Because I remember like having one piece that was still lagging behind, but like once you hit that across the board average item level, that it's that you now unlock that. It's all pieces. It's every piece. Okay, no, it is every piece. Okay, I'm wrong then. I'm wrong.
You will then outgrow the weathered crest. That means on every character on your account, you will get a 33% discount on upgrades, but most importantly, on your main character, you can then trade 45 weathered crests because you don't need them anymore for 15 carved crest at a 3-to-1 ratio. Of course, this also works for every other crest in the game. You can outgrow carved crest at 691 item level, and then you can outgrow runed crest at 704 item level. To put this in a very simple way, your goal, if you do not understand, is to hit the item level brackets of 678 across all item levels, and then once you're done, move on to 691 across all item levels, and then 704 across all item levels. The biggest mistake you can make is slamming all of your crest and valor stones into one item before spreading your progression across your character.
It's the biggest mistake. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I kind of pumped up my weapon because it's so important, just for damage output and everything else. But yeah, I guess he's right.
Do not do this. Instead, start by reaching these bracket points to be able to convert these crests very easily and trickle them into the highest crest possible. You
should fill every slot first.
It can actually get to the point where you can convert 135 carved crest and start turning them into 15 gilded crest to fuel your endgame progression very easily. I'm not simply saying go out and farm carved crest because it's probably going to be really hard and not that efficient, but what I am saying is that you're going to start racking up these crests naturally by doing your everyday regular content, and it means you can start cashing them in for a nice crest boost every so often. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, don't waste your resources on one piece of loot. Hit those item level brackets fast to unlock the trade-ups and gear up very, very quickly. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's favorite part, a quick checklist to take a screenshot and have on your second monitor for launch day. So here's how to gear up in Season 3 from easiest sources to hardest. First up, make sure to acquire your Titan Disc Belt in Dornogal and complete the quest chain to make it 701 item level. Complete both the time walking quest for a guaranteed champion and hero track piece of loot, as well as some additional opportunities for champion track gear from each boss in that raid. Kill the world boss Reshinor for a once-a-week guaranteed champion track
and
item.
Don't reset.
Queue up for looking for raid for veteran gear, as well as a chance at tier set bonus. And if you're still desperate for gear, turn on war mode and complete the Sparks weekly quest to buy some gear at the PvP vendor. Complete your weekly Dornogal chores for your bountiful keys, and head inside delves to complete your tier 8 bountiful delves for champion gear and tier 11s for your gilded crest. Do a Mythic 0 world tour and stack the same armor type in your group. Complete the normal Mana Forge Omega raid, and do your best to farm Mythic +6 this week for hero track loot and a ton of ruined crest.
There's so much to do this week.
Go inside of Tazavesh and kill as many bosses as you can for hero track gear, and be sure to follow our gearing clarifications we made earlier in the video. At the end of the week, if you need a one-handed weapon, craft your gilded weapon at 720 item level with your spark. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot more gearing videos coming up very, very soon, specifically for players who like to play completely solo, so be on the lookout for a solo gearing guide later this week. If you're looking for a guild, listen up, because we got an important message for you. One last note we wanted to make: if you're looking for a guild or people to progress
join their guild
with or raid with next
Join their guild. Do the guild
Discord
thing.
Link in the comment section below. Hop in there and verify, get yourself in, and then we can get you invited by you posting your name and server.
There it is. Yeah, join their guild. Cool. Look, a lot of cool stuff to do this week. A lot of fun things to do this week. Some of it's kind of challenging to get done this week. I mean, the Tazavesh dungeon's going to be, it's a great way to gear up, but man, it's going to be tough this week. Obviously, doing a +10 is going to be tough this week. Getting deep into Heroic Raid and getting AOTC this week, also tough. But there's plenty of ways to gear out and it not be difficult. Delves, unbelievable way to gear out very casually right now. And a ton of other things you can do, killing the world boss, as he mentioned, stuff like that. So lots of good ways to gear out across the board, level up all your item levels, hit those bars that he mentioned, and then for crafting, obviously the 2-piece, getting it next week, that's all big too. So nice video from the Comeback Kids, actually very comprehensive.